Welcome to Season 3 of the Craft Beer Connoisseurs podcast. I'm Tyler. If you're new to the podcast, we are three friends and a producer who like to showcase craft breweries and their beers. Also, we like to end every episode with a short conversation on a variety of different topics. If you're not new to the podcast, well, you know what to expect. The three connoisseurs haven't changed, and the producers are always a wild card. Whether you're new or returning, please feel free to listen to all of our previous content. And remember to follow us on Instagram at Craft Beer Cons, send a friend request on Untappd, or subscribe on YouTube at Craft Beer Connoisseurs. Also, drop a comment, like, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcasts. Now, for today's episode. Welcome to the Craft Beer Connoisseurs. I'm Tyler.
I'm Chris.
And I'm Brett. Along with us today is producer Tripp.
Hello, Tripp.
Hey.
That's a weird name, eh?
Yeah. It is pretty weird.
It's Tripp with two P's.
But, I mean, anything's a name these days.
Yeah. Well, and we always make fun of Tripp for it. So.
We do. Sorry, Tripp. In today's episode, we're going to be reviewing Railway City out of St. Thomas, Ontario.
Yes. This one will hit close to home for you, Chris, right?
That's right.
Yes. So we're going to be having two beers today on the episode, which are a pair of their new releases. The first is Courage, which is an IPA. And the second one is a Fruit Smoothie Sour, their newest release in their Express Limited Edition series.
That's right. And to finish up the episode, we're going to talk about transportation and specifically, you guessed it, trains.
All right, we're pulling into the station, guys, here. Ooh. Nice, all right. Yes. So, Railway City is located at 130 Edward Street in St. Thomas, as previously mentioned. It all started in 2008 with a small location in downtown St. Thomas, which is actually still a brewery today, but we'll save that for another time, maybe another episode.
Which one?
Ooh. It's one in St. Thomas.
Yeah. I mean, people can just go on Google Maps and figure it out if they really want to.
They could. Now, Railway, they wanted to entrench themselves in the history and the folklore of the industrial town, which you'll kind of see through some of the naming conventions in which they use on their beers, and that we might talk about a little bit later on for the thematic conversation.
Yeah. So within 5 years of opening, the industry started taking off, and so did production at Railway City. So there was a need for additional tanks, production equipment, and more. And also, they needed more space, of course, which made the move to their current location a very practical next step.
Yes.
Does it have more space?
Yes,
significantly more.
Yeah. I don't know if you've been to the Ye Not Be Named Brewery versus Railway City, but there's more space.
They got more space?
Yeah. So today, speaking of space, 14,000 square feet.
Yeah, that's a lot.
It's a little bit more space.
Yeah, a little more. And the production facility features a 3-vessel 20-hectoliter brew house, along with 8 40-hectoliter and 8 20-hectoliter fermenters, along with a canning line, and of course, tap room and retail store.
And you know what that all adds up to? Lots of beer.
It's true.
It is true.
Yeah, it's true.
Lots of beer.
So, Railway City doesn't utilize corn syrup in their beers.
Okay.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. They only feature malted barley, hops, yeast, and water with no artificial adjuncts or preservatives.
Which is good because you can taste that in the beer, which also then probably makes it a little bit more complex with the beers in which they have in the LCBOs and turning over. So you got to be very careful with that kind of stuff.
Correct.
Before we kind of get into a little bit of historical stuff.
Yeah.
Has anybody been there before?
A few times.
Yes. I think we've all been there.
We have all
just not together all four at the same time.
Which is by design, I think.
I think so, too.
It's not you guys. It's really Tripp. You know?
Well, I mean, I have been with you, Tyler, to the brewery.
Yes.
I've not been with you, Brett.
No, I have not.
And definitely not with Tripp.
Yeah. Tripp doesn't want to make the trip.
Couldn't get the train schedule.
Yeah.
It's difficult.
And I don't know how the train schedule works in St. Thomas. Is it still pretty? I don't know how that goes.
I don't believe there's any passenger trains in St. Thomas currently running.
But
fair enough.
You and I have never been together either.
No, I have been there once. It was with my wife.
Okay, that's nice.
Yeah, that's about it.
It's like you wanted to jump into both of them.
I've been there once, but they also do have one of my favorite beers of all time. So
yeah, and we'll get to that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. Now, one thing I wanted to mention that kind of up front here because Chris, you and I went not too long ago.
Yeah, it was January, February, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. And they've actually been in the news a lot recently, Railway City.
Yeah, they have. So did you want me to grab this?
Yeah, you might as well.
You grab it and you take it. Because
we
the bull by
actually-
its horns. Let's go.
We discussed this while we were there, actually, with the individual who supplied the beers today. And partial owner.
So about a year and a half ago in February of 2022, they made news because I guess I'll just spell it out. The EARI Beverage Group from the U.S. announced that they had signed a letter of intent to purchase Railway City. I believe Bell City as well.
Bell City and Brantford, yes.
Yeah.
They did complete that deal.
Oh, they did do that. Okay. However, as Brett kind of alluded to, that deal fell through because they could not agree on terms, I guess, for both parties. But throughout the summer of 2022, there was still interest in Railway City searching for a buyer. And finally, that did come to fruition in December of 2022 as the Toronto-based company SymBev took ownership of Railway City with a plan to take them national, as well as looking into kind of introducing spirits and ciders and more than just beer.
Right. And so that's kind of where we're at right now is they're still trying to, I think, figure out that transition plan.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And the direction where the brewery is going to kind of go, right?
And I think it'd be really good if they got one across Canada, that they do it by train.
That's the only way you could ship it.
Okay, makes sense to me.
Yeah.
The thing, too, is there's a lot of good apples in the area. So I could see the ciders being somewhat even locally made, produced, and doing some good ciders. So I think there's some good opportunity there with the potential expansion. Yeah. Still keeping it local-ish, and then selling it nationally.
And they have a couple of contract beers as well. Like they've been contracting here and there as well. So
Tyler, when you and I were there that one time, we were talking to Paul, who we kind of reached out to at the brewery to provide the beers on today's episode, and we were talking to him about kind of what the plans are for the future, and they were talking about focusing more on having less beers available, because every time you go in there would be 20 different beers there. They didn't really have a lot of kind of seasonals and things like that. So that's why they're kind of introducing this Express series, which they've had a few of, and we're going to try one of them today. So that's kind of what they're getting into, more of that. Let's have these, let's say 5 or 6 really core beers, and then, try out these seasonals and kind of one-off beers.
Yeah, I think it's at least my rule of thumb is, you got to nail 4 or 5 different beers first before you go into just making anything and everything, right?
Right. Yeah.
So if you try to see a brewery that's, been in business, let's say for a year, and they have 125 different creations on Untapped, it's like, have you
perfected something?
Have you perfected something yet?
What are you
just throwing a bunch of hops and
hoping for the best?
And hoping for the best, right? Trial and error, I guess. Oh, yeah.
Which we've seen that done before.
We have definitely seen that done before as well.
Right.
So, speaking of Untapped, Railway City has created 102 different beers with an average rating of 3.53 and with over 127,000 check-ins.
There you go.
And we have a few.
Quite a few.
Yeah, we have a few of them.
How many do you have, Brett?
Yeah, Brett. How many do you have?
I actually have the least amount of the 4 of us, which is very surprising.
I'll clap to that.
Yeah.
16. I have 16. So my highest rated, well, you guys guessed it, it's a 5. But it also is one of my, say, favorite beers. I can always have this and always have as a staple in my fridge is the Orange Creamsicle Ale. It is just splendid.
And though you've checked in 16 different Railway City beers, I think you've checked in Orange Creamsicle at least 16 times.
Yeah. Well, you got to have it at every style. In a flight, can, glass.
There's not 16 different styles.
There's
definitely 16 different
can again. They had a different label for the can, so I just, no.
There you go.
They did switch up the recipe a couple of years ago a little bit, but it's still a very, very good beer.
Now, Chris, how many have you had?
So I'm actually the winner here, which maybe isn't surprising.
I'll clap to that.
Thank you.
Yeah,
it's about time, right?
Clap to yourself. I saw that.
Well, of course.
little pat on the back.
Yeah. So I've had more than double than you, Brett. I've had 34.
That's good mathing right there.
Yeah, thank you. Really quick on that. And my highest rated is a beer called Jumbo, which is an IPA. So Jumbo is the elephant that is very famous in St. Thomas. And it was a 4.5 for me.
Very nice.
Tyler?
Yeah, so I come in second here.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, there it is. Thanks, guys. I appreciate that. I noticed Tripp wasn't clapping.
I don't think he's clapped for any of us.
No.
Should have clapped for me. 21 check-ins myself. Highest rated, I hate to say it, was also not a 5. But I did have the orange creamsicle ale and Big Top, and I've split that. So those two both come in at a 4.25.
Now, do you want to know who rated the orange creamsicle ale a 5, though?
Who's that?
Who could it be?
Tripp.
Yes.
No applause for Tripp.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. There's an advisor out for that one.
Silence. Yeah. He's had 18 check-ins, but obviously, as I mentioned, his highest rated is the orange creamsicle ale at a 5.
There you go.
Yes.
So 2 5s, a 4.5, and a 4.25 for
That's good stuff.
Not bad.
That's good
Yeah,
stuff.
and a lot of beers between the four of us from Railway City.
And we could get more beers. And you know how we can?
Probably this episode we're going to have more, but...
Probably this episode?
But we could
I'm
also-
confused because these 2 beers are new releases and none of us have checked that in yet.
Okay,
So,
for sure
Yeah,
on
there you
this
go.
episode.
We could through delivery, though.
But if you wanted to, you could get some beer delivered. So it's actually free within 150 kilometer radius of the brewery, which is a big radius.
Mm-hmm.
I will say to the south is only probably about 20 kilometers of land anyways, so kind of cuts off that radius.
I don't think it stretches down to Cleveland. I don't think.
But there's no caveat in there. If you made a call and you're on a boat,
Right.
are they delivering?
In the middle of Lake
I don't
Erie?
know.
Yeah.
I just sub the food for thought.
That's a
I
good
did not look into the logistics of that kind of delivery.
That's a good point. We should call them out on that.
Because there is
I
a
think we just
brewery
did.
that does deliver on
Yeah.
water. We talked
Trestle.
about it before, right?
Yeah.
It's Trestle, yeah.
I mean, in fairness, they're located on the water, but
I don't care.
but if you're not within 150 kilometers of the brewery, they do have a $15 flat rate of shipping across Ontario, or $30 if you want it really, really quickly.
Yeah. Like
not on the train.
Express Canada Post shipping. Like,
Yeah, like high speed rail,
yeah.
something like that. You can also purchase kegs, which is nice.
nice.
But they are actually extremely common to find in the LCBO across the province. So
Yep.
they've got quite a few of their main brands in the LCBO.
Yeah.
So like Playa Cerveza, Dead Elephant, Marion Bright, the Juice Caboose, Orange Creamsicle Ale.
Oh,
By the way.
yes.
Yeah. You can find that anywhere. And LCBO's, even beer, there's a few beer stores, mostly grocery
Yeah.
stores too.
Yeah,
Right.
Any place that you go that's, you can find beers, it's probably got some Railway City.
It's very common.
You could also find beers there. So the hours of the tap room / retail store are Sunday, Monday, 11 to 7, Tuesday to Wednesday, 11 to 8, and Thursday to Saturday, 11 to 9.
And you might see Chris there the odd time.
You might. I will not deliver for people that are not in this room, though.
Aw. That's good for us.
And maybe not even Tripp.
Yeah.
But if you wanted to make those purchases and get that delivery, we will link to their information on our social media so that you can.
All right, let's hop on the train. Let's grab that first beer.
All right. Stop one, I suppose.
I think so. It's a good stop, though.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Decent stop of this multi-leg journey. We want to thank Paul for coordinating the beers for today's episode. So a round of applause for Paul.
Yes, thank you, Paul.
Hey, nice to see
Oh,
you.
you hear Tripp? He
Tripp
clapped.
Tripp there, yeah.
Yeah.
Tripp with the big clap.
Claps for when it's beers.
Or when it's someone not the three of us.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That was more for Paul than it was for
Yeah,
the beers.
for sure.
But we are going to be having a beer today. The first one is Courage, which is an IPA, which we mentioned earlier on. This beer is a 6.5 ABV, and the IBUs are unlisted.
Yes, so it is listed as an IPA that pours a rich golden amber hue, delivering a burst of citrus and bitterness in every sip. Its robust flavors, balanced profile, and refreshing finish make it a delightful choice for an IPA enthusiast. Ooh,
Or a connoisseur, maybe.
that's me. Or connoisseur.
Yeah.
I'm both. And those seeking a bold and flavorful beer experience.
All right. So this beer, all profits from this beer are donated to the Children's Health Foundation to help fund vital care needed for patients at the Children's Hospital at the London Health Sciences Centre. It also says there on their can, join us for raising a glass and raising funds for those that need it most. Cheers to making a difference, one sip at a time.
Nice.
We will do that.
You know what? We haven't really had a beer that we've talked about in a long time that has done something with the foundation. So it's nice to kind of bring that up. It seemed like season one, there seemed to
There was quite a bit. Yeah.
every other kind of brewery was doing something. So it is nice to kind of bring this back because this is our last main episode where we are talking about a brewery. So
That is true.
It is nice to kind of finish off season 3 with a good foundation.
Absolutely. So you can follow us on Instagram at Craft Beer Cons and on Untapped at Craft Beer Connoisseurs. The rating for Courage is 3.69 out of 5 and 12 chickens. And again, we did mention that obviously these are both new releases. So
I think this one came out like the last day of May, or something like
this
that.
one is the earlier of the 2 releases, where the fruit smoothie sour came out 2 days ago.
A week ago, yeah.
All right. So let's grab that new can and that glass and let's open her up.
All right. Well, we are drinking this out of an IPA glass, but what you will see in the picture is a Railway City branded glass. But either way, make sure to use your proper glassware.
Very good, very good. So on the pour here, a little bit ahead.
Yes.
Nice color on it. You want to talk about the color there, Brett?
I think, as I mentioned, the golden amber hue, I think we got that perfect. In terms of the head, again, probably have to go horizontal on the measuring. Chris, let's do your head first, because I think it looks to be a little bit more than...
Horizontal or vertical?
Do both for me, please.
It's about, what's that called?
It's a one
flange?
finger.
2 flange?
Yeah.
And about 4 fingers horizontally.
It's a big head.
I poured it a little aggressive.
You know what?
You
I
did.
think when that settles out, though, you're going to get some nice aromas that come through, especially with that head. Yeah, golden.
Yep.
A deep kind of golden color, right? We're kind of approaching that amber in which they reference. But nice. Looks really nice in this IPA glass, actually.
Yes. It smells very hoppy off the nose there.
Off the hop?
Yeah. Thank you.
You got it.
Got him.
God, I knew you were going to do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nothing better than a good beer joke.
Yeah, it's true, right?
All right. So, I mean, should we just get right into drinking it?
Well, is there anything else that you're smelling? I'm getting a little bit of the citrus coming
Yep.
through.
Yeah. Which I think is coming from the hops, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chris might be a while.
Yeah, I was going to say, I probably will be a minute or so before I actually
Minute, that's
can take
generous.
a sip out of this.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go. We got something in there?
Yeah, a little
adjunct?
little fluff.
Little adjunct fluff?
Object flunked.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
All right,
Wow.
well, I'll
this might be a
start
long
sipping
podcast because it's going to take Chris 20 minutes before we can actually have a sip of that.
Oh, it's going down.
Let's
quickly.
get the-
Should we
Don't
kill
worry about
time or no?
I think we should
You're
get the
okay?
producer to put in the Jeopardy little music.
Do, 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 do,
it. Or
do.
you guys could just drink it.
What a fantastic idea.
You fill some space and some time.
I will, because one thing I was kind of thinking of is this actually, we mentioned my highest rated beer from Railway City was Jumbo, which is an IPA, and this kind of looks like that. We'll see if it kind of tastes like that, but it definitely has that similar look.
Yeah, I think it's a very, as I say, typical West Coast. I know the IBUs are unlisted, but there's definitely some bitterness in there.
Yeah.
I think it's a prototypical classic West Coast IPA.
Yeah, I think that's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, I was like, do you want me to go into anything more? But just
Yeah.
tell you what,
No, you're good.
I'm thinking.
You're good. There is definitely bitterness. There's some citrus in there.
Yeah.
There's nothing that's kind of overpowering right now. I do feel like maybe some of the bitterness is a little bit more up front and then kind of subdued a little bit more.
Yeah,
with
bitterness
the
hits
citrus.
right off the taste, if you will.
Yeah.
Not too
so does-
piney though.
No.
Yeah,
No,
which is nice
it's
because I
just
don't
kinda-
I don't like a West Coast IPA that has hardcore pine involved. With it,
Right.
right. So
I think this is approachable, right? And they talk about IPA enthusiasts, and I think it can be appreciated by individuals who really do enjoy IPAs, or specifically the West Coast. But somebody who doesn't, is you can still get some good flavor out of this, and I think that's why it would seem more approachable.
Yeah. No, and I definitely am, as I drink it more, getting more of the citrus coming through on the
Right.
back end.
Yep. How's your head taste?
It's good. It's basically gone.
good.
Now, did you get a good mouthfeel with that though?
Yeah, it was pretty creamy when I first got into it.
What about now?
Well, not as much because the head's gone, right? So
Okay, I'm going to transition here to the can.
Yeah.
So at least it's a very basic design. So
yeah, so you're very good at describing the
yes.
cans. Yeah.
So it's just a nice little helping hands with a heart, obviously, to help the Children's Hospital at the London Health Sciences Centre. So again, go out and buy this beer. help support the cause,
Yeah.
and enjoy your sip.
It is a nice can.
Yeah.
It's a nice can. Do you want to talk about I don't know, Chris, you sound like you wanted to say
Well,
something.
I was going to say, I believe Paul mentioned that it's quite limited in supply. I believe they only brewed 150 cases of this beer.
I don't know if that's very limited in supply. You know,
Well,
I mean, compared to Dead Elephant and stuff like that, probably.
Sure.
But-
I think the point to be made, though, is like you want to get it, you got to get it soon.
it's not going to be around forever.
Right.
Correct. Yes.
All right. Top 5 flavor profiles. Let's start hitting them out. Number 1, full. Full flavored.
It does have a good amount of flavor. Like there's no kind of parts of it that are lacking flavor at any point.
A full body beer.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Probably not the number 1 though, right?
No, I would not.
Okay.
put it.
Number 2, hoppy.
Yeah, definitely hoppy. I would say.
Yeah, I
Okay.
guess.
Okay. And 3, 4, and 5 are non-existent due to the amount of check-ins that we have here.
Right.
So when we look at this as well, we see full and we see hoppy. Kind of seem very generic. And as we've learned from our Brewed Home course, maybe we should kind of button it up a little bit and get a little bit more descriptive instead of just more generic, full and hoppy. So Tripp's put down a couple here. I'll put them out to the floor here. If you guys want to say yay or nay, we'll go from there. Number 1 from Tripp is bitter.
I think that is definitely that would probably almost be 2 or 3 for me.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting immediately when I take a sip.
Would you think maybe 1, maybe 2?
I think probably number 1
Yeah.
for me. Yeah.
Okay.
So it'd be that
one,
two,
one
right?
would be hoppy for me, 2 would be bitter.
Okay. Citrus.
Yes, it does have that citrus, like I mentioned on the back end.
Yeah. So I maybe move citrus up, bring hoppy down. Hoppy is there, but again, it's more generic, and we can kind of get maybe to that citrus, and maybe we could even go one step further and define what that citrus might be.
Yeah, it's hard. I'm not really picking something out.
I'm thinking either like a grapefruit or a tangerine.
Yeah, I'm getting more of the grapefruitiness
Yes.
for
Yeah.
sure, or like a
Because that would be kind of like my number 5.
yeah, or like a pomelo, something
Yep.
something in there, right? So again, it's just taking the generic title and trying to expand a little bit further into it. 3 listed here from Tripp is refreshing.
Yeah, it is pretty refreshing.
Yeah. I think this is a nice patio beverage.
See, I wouldn't put it down as refreshing.
No.
I think it's a nice beer. I think it's very approachable, but I'm not necessarily looking at it from a refreshing standpoint because I do think it has a lot of character.
Yeah.
And that kind of goes to the full, whether it's full flavored. But if I'm going to have this beer, I'm probably only going to have 1 of them, maybe 2 of them, just because
Limited supply.
I do feel like it sits a little bit heavier. And,
It is sitting heavy, yeah. Maybe that's where that full comes from.
That's
Yes.
what I was just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Well,
it.
and yeah, when you say refreshing, you kind of think like chuggable, basically, or
Uh,
crushable.
Yeah, I kind of mix
Yeah.
a little bit of refreshing with crushable, and this is something I wouldn't want to kind of crush.
No.
I want to take my time with it and just really let the flavors come out and speak to me. So I can see the refreshing. Don't get me wrong; it just doesn't sit with me. And then the last one was mouthfeel. I think this is maybe a little bit more specific to the amount of head you had in your script. But
I think it's your flavor profile, maybe not ours.
Yeah. And my flavor profile for like the first quarter of drinking it.
yeah. The finish on this isn't completely fast either, right? Like I don't know if you guys have a bit of a coating in your mouth.
I do, and I now that you say
it.
that, I'm kind of getting self-conscious about like kind of moving my tongue around my mouth.
Yeah.
So yeah, I definitely agree that it's just kind of
It
it lingers, but not in a bad way.
No.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is, it's almost like when there's beers that are dry or wines that are dry, and you kind of get that, right?
And you want to take another sip.
Yeah, this is it. So it's a little bit dry,
I think we could say it's dry. Yeah.
and I like it. Yeah, it's nice. Okay, so that's what we got for the flavor profile.
But maybe we should see what other people think about this, right?
We should.
Instead of just you guys and me.
Yeah. Our passengers on this train, right?
Exactly. There are people. I don't know if they're business class or economy, but we'll figure that out. Tyler, you get the first one.
True. So yeah, we pulled the top 100 passengers. And
Top 5 answers
we
on the board.
we took the top 2 answers. We put them on the board here. Absolutely random. The first one is Jason J. The handle is Admiral Payne. On June 2nd, stated the following: strong malt, West Coast style hops, and a sweet finish. combining to make a delightfully rich and full-flavored IPA. I think that's supposed to be combining, right?
Yes.
Okay. And
I talked to Tripp. I didn't.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. And give it a 4 out of 5. So thank you, Jason, for that. You're one of the top respondents.
There you go. 1 out of 12.
Yeah.
So the next one comes from Ian S. And Ian's handle is ICS Toddy. On June 10th said, hides the ABV, not overly hoppy, fairly middle of the road. And Ian gave it a 3 out of 5.
I will say he's definitely correct in terms of it hiding the ABV because it's 6.5%, but it's not really. I mean, obviously, most West Coasts are kind of between that 5, 9, and 7 range.
Yeah.
But it's definitely hiding it quite well throughout here.
Yeah, I agree. Drinks more like 5.
Yep.
You know.
Drinks more like a 5.
Drinks more like a 5. Drink like a 6.
More like a 5, baby. Come on now.
Imagine if it drank like a 10.
That's 2 5s.
Yeah, that's right. You're right.
Good math again.
Good math again.
We're on it. Let's start our ratings off here. I'll go first because I'm talking currently. I'm going to go ahead and give this a 3.5. 3.5.
Okay. I'm going to be a tiny bit higher. I'm going to give it a 3.75.
I'm going to be right with Chris on this one and give it a 3.75. Producer Tripp is going to be a little bit lower than us. I don't know why, but must be in that economy. He gave it a 3.
All right. So that's going to give us an overall score, again, simple math for simple people, of 3.5.
All right.
All right.
Well, all aboard for beer number 2. All right, here we are pulling into our second stop. And the second beer at this stop, or I guess the first beer at this second stop that we're going to have is the Fruit Smoothie Sour, which is part of Railway City's Express Limited Edition series. So this one comes in at 5.3% ABV with 3.5, that's right, 0.5 IBUs.
I'm just glad the conductor of this train has got us to where we need to be.
Yeah.
Which is this beer. And then, speaking of this beer, it is brewed with a blend of fresh fruits and a hint of tartness. So the latest Express Series release is a perfect treat to quench your thirst on a warm day. I thought that was Gatorade. Quench your thirst. But I like this. I feel like I'm going to like this more. So indulge in a unique and delicious combination of banana, strawberries, and raspberries with our limited edition Fruit Smoothie Sour.
There we go. All right. So on Untapped, we do have some information. Just in.
Producer
Thank
Tripp.
you, Tripp. Thank you.
Tripp's coming in hot.
Tripp does have it. It is listed on Untapped. But there is only one check-in.
Wow.
Yeah. Very new release.
It came out, so it came out 1 week before this episode is being released, so the 15th of June.
Correct.
So brand new.
Brand new.
Brand new.
All right. You know what we got to do then? We got to add a couple of ratings to this beer.
I think
There's only one way we could do that. Grab your can. Grab your glass. Let's open her up.
Just so you know, Chris, I do appreciate you keeping this Fruit Smoothie Sour at a cold temperature.
Yes,
Yes.
of course.
Yes.
Of course.
Let's watch the pours here. The pours are coming in.
Not only is it cold, but it is going into a tulip glass. So make sure to use your proper glassware.
There you go. 2 lips, 1 lips. I'll take it any way I can.
Fair enough. Ooh.
What are you guys getting on the color?
Look at
That is a very nice color.
very nice.
It looks kind of like grapefruit juice.
It does look like grapefruit juice. And I really hope it's not grapefruit juice, let me tell you. Because I don't
It's
like
good, guys. This guy's got a lot of quantity there. That's nice to see. It's good to see like that. I love fruit smoothies, especially sour ones. I'm hoping this, hoping this one comes forward, and I hope I enjoy this.
I think you will.
What do you guys see in colors? What do you got? Colors. What do you got in smells? I see one went for color, one went for smell. So
Well, we already talked about the color.
you check in on the smell, and then
I got
you
the
can
color.
add to the color.
Yeah. So I'll do color first, I guess. So again, kind of pinkish, almost looks peachish, like a peach color. Would you say? I mean, obviously there's no peach in here, But if you hold, I guess maybe I'm getting it more in the light here. That's making it more peach for me.
Yeah, I think it's kind of like that subdued raspberry look, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A faded raspberry. Yeah.
Or
faded raspberry. I'll go with faded raspberry.
like I mentioned, grapefruit juice.
Yeah, or faded raspberry's good. Yeah,
I'm going to go with faded raspberry on this one.
yeah, I think faded raspberry's
I think so.
great.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think, Tripp?
Faded raspberry. I think you would have been better suited if you said ruby red grapefruit juice. If you would have described it as that, I think
fair,
is what you meant to do.
I didn't know I had to be that specific.
You took the course.
We also went faded raspberry. We didn't just say raspberry.
Yeah, you took the
So-
course, bud. All right?
Come on.
Come on now. You're better than that.
Oh, man.
What do you got on the nose?
Let's see.
Yeah, well, you
Yeah,
were smelling it
I-
earlier. You're the guy. You're the guy.
Well, I can. This might sound weird, but I can smell the sour. You know?
No, it doesn't. That does not sound weird. I can understand that.
The tartness, if you will.
Yeah, 100%.
It's like a sweet tart, but just the tart.
Yeah, that would be right. That'd be not sweet tart, just tart.
I'm picking up a little bit of the strawberry raspberry, a little bit of the banana,
Muted raspberry on the nose, or
It's a vibrant raspberry.
vibrant raspberry. Yeah, a little bit of strawberry. Banana more so if you keep it a little further away. But either way, I'm just really excited to hopefully try this beer.
yeah, I would say mostly strawberry. I'm really not getting much of banana at all, which is
Yeah.
fine because I'm not a huge banana fan.
Now, Producer Tripp has been informing me that I should probably talk about the can.
Okay.
Yeah, and it says Express Limited Edition Fruit Smoothie Sour.
Yeah,
It's
it
got
does.
that I'm going to say not a faded raspberry color on it, but more like a strong raspberry color on it.
Yeah.
Would you say?
Burgundy, maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah, I'd go with burnt orange.
Yeah, burnt
Oh,
orange. yeah.
Jesus.
Hey, we're going to get the best of both
What
worlds
do you
with
think?
there.
Burnt orange or like a burnt copper? Like a copper?
Yeah, burnt copper.
Yeah,
There you go,
copper's
yeah,
good
works for
too.
me.
Weird.
Yes, quite. Mhm.
All right, I
Can we
get
drink
it.
this damn thing
I
already?
get it.
Let's go.
All right, yeah, I'm gonna start drinking it. I don't have a whole lot to drink here, so I'm just ready to go. Put her down the old hatch.
Yeah, you do that. Yeah.
Way to fill
You
time.
all right there?
Way to
That-
fill time,
that
Chris.
is,
yeah, you do that, but
Remember last time we were with the courage we were talking about refreshing.
Yeah.
This one it hits this one or refreshing, I should say. Hits this one. Hits refreshing to all accounts. I think
yeah,
Yeah, it is. It's actually quite tart.
very tart.
really.
Yeah, I got that like feeling in my jaw when I have something very sour. I don't even know how to describe it, but it kind of like tenses up a little bit. I don't know if you guys get that. Just me? Probably
Yeah,
just
that's
me
just you,
based
yeah,
on the
just you.
rest of this segment.
Yeah, I'm not getting a whole lot of tartness myself.
Really?
I'm now if you let it sit for
Yeah.
a little bit, that's when the tartness is kind of coming in here.
Oh, see, I don't get that either.
Yeah. Like maybe like a little bit of gut rot coming.
Hey, Tripp is agreeing with me. Thank you, Tripp.
There's something to be proud of.
For one, someone agrees.
Yeah, there's something to be real proud of. You
Yeah.
take that right.
Be happy about that.
Write
tell
that in a
you.
letter back home. Let them know. Tripp said yay. I'm trying to pick out the flavors.
Yes, me too.
And I think at the tail end, it's I don't want to say it's off-putting, but there's like just a bit of a flavor that's coming in at the end that I'm not agreeing with right now.
Would it be banana, perhaps?
No, it's not fruit. It's
just,
just the way it sits.
Okay.
You know, like a good smoothie, everything has been blended so well that you can't necessarily pick out one thing. It's just become one. All the things have come together.
That's fair. Yeah.
Okay, all right, Preacher
Yeah,
Chris,
just
that's great.
This one.
I think
What hymn was that?
yeah.
That was Railway City
Yeah.
315.
Epiglottis 418. I think for me is I'm getting more of the raspberry and some of the acidity from a raspberry than you would from a strawberry
I think that's fair.
or a banana. So I think some of that acidity is coming through. But for me is like there's just this flavor that just is kind of sitting there and it just does it's not finishing for me.
Lingering.
Yeah, it
Lingering
does
around.
kind of linger. But again, up front, I guess there's a bit of tartness, a bit of sour, but it's not like a, it's the best way I can describe it.
Yeah.
Maybe my palate's not refined enough, and I'm just getting hit with the sour right away.
Well, you're also not a huge sour guy for the most part, right?
Yeah,
But
so
you've kind of dabbled a bit more.
you know, we're kind of like early summer right now. Like I haven't really been into the sours too much this year, to be honest. So
No, I think now that I'm kind of getting more down this, I kind of see where you're coming from.
Right.
When it comes to that kind of, not saying it's off-putting to the point
No.
where I hate it.
No.
By any stretch of the imagination.
It just sits there different.
Just sits there. It's like, can't quite put my finger on it.
I mean, and I'm fresh off a beer Rita. There we go.
Beer Rita.
Yeah.
Beer Rita.
So I don't know.
Yeah,
you know,
he crushed it between segments. Not
yeah,
you.
yeah. Maybe I'm just a little bit diluted from that, I suppose. But
Yes.
no, I think there are some flavors that are coming out. I do think the raspberry over the strawberry and the strawberry over the banana. If I had to go 1, 2, 3,
yes, that makes sense to
and I
me.
think the banana does kind of come through in the end, which might be some of that lingeringness. But
I think that's what I'm getting at the end as well. And I don't think I'm experiencing kind of what you're describing, but what I am getting is banana at the end for sure.
I'm also thinking they're more so relying on the bacteria of the sourness versus the actual fruit flavors itself. Where if there maybe was more fruit involved with this, they might have got a little bit more better of a taste, right?
and it might be that 0.5 that just threw it off. You know that IBU.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Oh man, that just puts it
For
over the
sure.
top, right?
I'm kidding.
All right, 5 flavor profiles. Who wants to do it?
Yeah, I'll do it. There's none.
Okay, good. What do we got?
Move on.
What
No.
are we throwing in there?
So Tripp has come up with a few of them. So we'll maybe run through Tripp's and we can critique him. How's that sound?
Sounds great.
So the first one is tart. I definitely would say this is a tart beer.
That's number one for me.
Well, there you go.
Number 3 for me.
I converted Brett. Number 2 is raspberries.
That'd be number 1 for me.
Okay, that's my number 1 fruit. I would say for sure. Banana.
There, back end, 4
Yeah.
5.
Yeah. Strawberry.
I think it's, again, strawberries are very difficult to kind of get and kind of come forward. So I think it's subdued. So I'd say if we were putting it in, it'd be like a 6 7, but I probably wouldn't even mention
I think when they have the profile of berry, not classifying strawberries or raspberries,
see,
that'd
I-
be more so.
Yeah, I don't
where
like
I'd be
that
at.
though.
Yeah, I
I
know.
don't like
that-
that because, and that's the thing is in the fruit world, listing something as a berry is there's so many different berries.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
You have to get specific.
Yeah, no, I get that.
All right, then he goes sour. Yes, it's sour. Mouthfeel.
Doesn't have as much of a soft mouthfeel that I would like from a sour.
Yeah.
Acidic.
Yes.
Sorry, if I could,
good one.
could. The fact that it's labeled as a fruit smoothie sour is I would almost look for more of that creaminess to push that mouthfeel forward.
Yeah.
Thicker, right?
Yeah, thicker
Yeah.
or
It's,
creamier.
it's
right?
actually probably one of the thinnest smoothie beers that I've
yeah.
would have had. Right?
Yeah, so acidic is next. Yes, I'm getting
100%.
lots of acid from this one. Full, he said. So he's given us a ton. Full. I mean, it's full of flavor, but
Is it?
yeah,
It's got 2 flavors.
jam-like. I guess you took this right from Untapped, eh? You know?
Yeah. For sure. He's not coming up with this on his own. Let's be serious here.
I like this last one though. Puckering. I'm going to put that when I check this
Yeah,
in.
definitely makes
Because you got those weak jowls.
Yes.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a weakling.
There you go. Thoughts from the Untapped users.
I'm going to say that one person probably didn't give a comment.
No,
to
there
this.
actually is. He actually did.
Okay. Chris, you
Yeah,
want to read it out? since you
yeah,
asked?
I'll do it. So it's Derek C. So Derek's handle is King Kong Don.
King Kong Don. Nice.
And Derek had this on June 16th of 2023. And he said, not a big sour fan, but actually don't mind this one. Cheers emoji, and gave it a 3.25.
0.25. Okay. So I guess I'm going to start getting with our ratings.
Yeah, why don't you get with our ratings?
Yeah. I'm going to do that right now. Okay.
Okay.
Give me a second here.
Yes, sir.
I am going to give this one a 3.25. That's where I'm going to go with that. I think it's just, as kind of mentioned, it's a little thin in terms of most fruit smoothie sours. Flavor is somewhat subdued, but the tartness is definitely there for a sour beer.
Sure. I'm going to go with a 2.75. I've had a lot of fruit smoothie sours. I've had a lot of fruit sours. Just kind of comparing it to other ones. I agree. I would have liked a little bit more kind of the fruit kind of coming forward, a little bit more of that creaminess, whether they want to do add a little bit more of vanilla or something to it would have been
Vanilla
kind of
bean,
nice, or
lactose,
something.
yep.
Lactose would have been kind of a way just to kind of push it.
Yeah.
Just
Lactose is a little bit involved here, but it's not.
I think it just needs to be
needs to be more-
elevated. Take
yeah,
it
it needs to be
the
more prominent.
Take it to the next step, and then again, kind of punch home. I maybe even cut the strawberry straight out of it, and then just go raspberry banana, and just kind of elevate both of those flavors just a bit more, because strawberry is very difficult, especially kind of gets lost in this. Even though Preacher Chris over there was telling us about how it's all kind of combined.
Yes. So for me, I'm going to be, I think, the highest of all of us. I'm going to give it a 3.5. And then Tripp is giving it also a 2.75. So just like you, Tyler.
Just like me, just like Mike. So that's going to give us an overall score of 3.0625, which will round down to a solid 3.
And that concludes the review of Railway City and the beers provided for today's episode.
All right, and our last up, we're going to be discussing choo-choo trains.
Choo choo. Here comes the train.
All right, last stop, everybody. Jeez, calm down, Tripp. Like, it's not about you there, brother. Now you're you're doing it wrong. You're in my space. Get out of my space. There you go.
That was 2008.
That's it. All right. So in the late 19th century and early 20th century, several railways were constructed through St. Thomas. This made it an important railway junction. A total of 26 railways have passed through the city since the first railway was completed in 1856. Now, as previously mentioned, the one beer that Railway City does have, and Chris mentioned, was Jumbo. Now, Jumbo is a circus elephant, said to actually be the world's biggest elephant at the time.
Largest and biggest.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Apparently.
Died, actually, on September 15th, 1885, shortly after being hit by the locomotive, which Chris did mention that there is a big commemorative Jumbo out there.
There
And a
is.
movie based off it, too.
There you go. So a couple of things to note. The Elgin County Railway Museum is located in central St. Thomas, and St. Thomas is also home to the North America Railway Hall of Fame, which is actually located in the CASO train station. The station was built in the 1870s and was a center of travel between New York and Chicago.
Yep.
So that leads us to our conversation, our thematic conversation, which just made sense to me, was we're going to be talking about trains. So has anybody been on a train? Maybe I'll kind of start with it, and then we'll do our traditional roundtable affair on this. So for myself, I have been. We'll consider it like a subway or trains within cities. So normal kind of like transportation methods. I've never been on like the traditional Via Rail, though.
You've never been on a Via Rail?
Never been on a Via Rail.
Wow.
Never been on Via Rail. Subways, again, as I said, or like transportation within a city, but I've never been on like I'm going on a destination city-to-city train ride myself.
Interesting.
Yeah. Brett, why don't we work to you, Chris, and then we'll end up with Trippy.
So I've actually been on a V-Rail. I think it was like grade 2 was for a trip. The other two things is I took the Sky Train when I was in Vancouver. So it was fun.
Okay.
Right? And then would you guys kind of monorail?
I would count a Disney monorail. I've been on one
We'll
of those
go
too.
monorail, yeah.
So there is the monorail that gets you from a parking lot at Pearson Airport right down. So I took that.
Okay.
Very fast.
Yeah. Same thing with Orlando Airport. They do the same thing.
Yes, they do. Yeah.
I just feel like we're doing monorails. We're doing
And obviously I've been on subways in Toronto to different places. And
Obviously,
that,
yeah,
It
obviously.
just happens. I haven't been on like a subway in like Asia or anything like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of my experience. Not too much experience. I'm very let's just say most of the subways I go to are the ones with the sandwiches.
Oh, man.
All right.
I've spent a lot of time on trains, actually. Going to school in Windsor and living north of Toronto, I would take the train to and from.
Buy a car.
Yeah, it's cheaper to take the train. So, yeah, 4 hours and a bit, depending on the traffic, I guess. And yes, there's
the traffic on the train?
No, there's traffic because they share the rail with CN, and CN owns it, and they have to yield the right of way to CN.
So you're welcome. I guess I participated in somebody getting on and off trains, picking them up.
Yeah, you
dropping them
did
off.
drive me to the station a couple times
yeah.
and pick me up. Yeah,
Because you didn't have a car, apparently.
Yeah.
I did not. I did not have a job, so I did not have money to pay for a car.
You were busy on your getting your education.
Yes, I was. I've also taken the train a few times from London to Toronto as well, which is the same train, but I've taken it. Taken the GO train in Toronto, taken the subway in Toronto lots and lots of times. And when I was in London, in UK, took the subway there all the time.
I have taken the GO train. I should say that.
Okay,
But
yes.
not like a traditional view.
Trippy, he's put himself as Trippy.
Yeah,
in the
he's
script.
trippy, all right.
Yeah. When he was young, his parents and his grandpa took him on the train from Stratford to St. Mary's to experience that.
Just the experience.
Whoop, whoop.
Well, that's a pretty short trip. And then he lived in North York for 4 years, and he took the subway a lot. Also, the Orlando monorail. At the airport or in Disney as well, or
Yeah.
Whenever I'm just going to kind of correlate this. Whenever I hear monorail, and then with the title of the episode being "I choose you," I think Simpsons automatically.
I actually
You were going there,
I
yeah,
actually
yeah.
said that,
Yeah.
about 4 minutes ago.
Cool.
All right. Does anybody have any interest in like a cross-country train ride? So there's the Toronto to Vancouver via the Via Rail, which is called the Canadian, or the Toronto to Atlantic, which is, again, Via Rail, they have the Ocean, it's called. So for myself, I would love this. I would love just to kind of sit back, kick back, put my, get like a little sleeper cabin, and just enjoy sitting down and just seeing the scenery all the way from Toronto out to Vancouver, and then do Toronto out to the East Coast, which would be absolutely lovely. So I don't know if you've seen some of these trains or the cars that they have there, and like they've got like full glass, so you can see absolutely everything.
Watch some TikToks on it, yeah. From going from Toronto to Vancouver, yeah.
Yeah, that's where we differ. Okay. That's good. Yeah, no, I just like looked into it before. So, yeah, I would love to do it sometime with anybody. Doesn't matter who you are.
I think it'd be a great idea.
Really, anybody you do
Yeah.
it?
Yeah,
Anybody,
pretty well.
doesn't matter.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it'd be a
I've
great
sauced the
idea.
idea out to other people, you know?
What I would suggest is if we just get a bunch of beers from different breweries and just hop on the. I don't know how the acoustics will be in the Via Rail from Toronto to Vancouver. Just record like a whole season of the podcast on the way out.
We could do that. We could maybe put it on TikTok.
Yeah, we could.
A whole season, eh?
So Brett, would something like that interest you or no?
Absolutely,
Like,
100%.
yeah?
Yeah.
Wow.
Judging by the TikToks I've seen, I would gladly.
Oh, Jesus. I would try it. I have seen the commercials for what's it called, the Rocky Mountaineer,
Yeah,
I think, which is
very
similar concept,
similar.
right? The thing is, though, it's like 6 days to get out there, and then like, are you staying out there? Are you coming right back? You know what I mean? So it's like you would have to have a lot of time on your hands to kind of do that. So I would definitely try it if I had that time on my hands.
Good.
Tripp would do either.
Good job, Tripp. All right.
West or east.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Not biased.
Not biased, yeah. Any interesting train-related stories or anything that has kind of come in your head regarding trains? I know that Tripp might actually have some stories too with respect to like model trains and all that stuff. So, like, however it can kind of relate, you know, however it can kind of relate. So, for myself, when I was visiting Vietnam, they have the...
Wait, you went to Asia?
I did go. I haven't told you guys about it?
No, I haven't heard about
Apparently
this.
twice.
Okay, yeah. So when I was there, they have the Hanoi Train Market, which is like a traditional kind of market that's set up right beside train tracks. So the train runs right through this little market, and you got 12 feet basically for a train, and there's 2 times, I think it's like 3 and 7.
Are there barriers?
There's no barriers. So so on the train track, you would have there's like a coffee shop that's set up that they put their chairs out there. And then as the train's approaching, everybody picks up their chair and moves to the side. And you are no less than probably about 2.5 feet from a locomotive.
Is it flying through there?
I'll show you videos. Just flying, booking it through, and it's straight to the nose. Maybe we'll put it on our Instagram as well. But it's just flying through, and as I said, you got about 2 feet between you and a train just barreling through.
That's
And then
wild.
as soon as he goes through, everybody takes their chairs and puts it right back on the train track, and the market opens back up, and you carry on with your day.
There you go.
It's crazy.
That's
So
crazy.
that's what I got. Brett, you got any
I
cool train
honestly
stories?
don't have any interesting train stories at all.
You ever put a penny on the train track and have a train flatten it?
Never
or-
played chicken with the train. Never done anything with the train.
No?
Nope.
I think I got a story about you and trains.
Not mentioning that one here.
Okay, so you do have one.
Not for the podcast. Nope. That's
right.
going to stay internally, I think.
Oh,
You know,
interesting.
So if you see us out at any, I don't know, outdoor events or such, maybe you could come up and approach Brett and see if you can get
Yeah,
that train
ask him
story
about
out.
it.
Yeah.
Choo.
All right. Chris.
Yeah, I guess what I would say is my dad grew up in St. Thomas, and we would visit my grandparents in St. Thomas for Easter quite often when I was a kid. And basically what we would do is we would go down to Port Stanley, and they have a train that runs and basically just on holidays, and you go and you get to see the Easter Bunny, do an Easter egg hunt and stuff like that. So we do the same thing with my daughter now every Easter. So we do the Port Stanley Easter egg hunt train. So
Yeah.
That's fun.
Do you do the Christmas one?
no,
the
we do
Christmas?
not do the Christmas one.
I guess I've seen the Christmas train. That's
Oh!
my interesting train story. There you go.
Wow.
Yeah. That's the PG one.
Okay. There's more to be uncovered.
Dun, dun, dun.
There you go. Tripp, you got anything?
No.
Nothing. Not a big mull train guy?
He was a part of my train story.
Oh.
There.
Okay. We'll leave it at that. So thank you for listening to the episode. We'll be right back with our farewell. All right. That's going to be it for today's episode.
Thank you again for listening. Keep on listening. Every other Thursdays, the Craft Beer Connoisseurs release a new episode, and on our off Thursdays for a producer special.
And make sure to tell your friends, family, and your favorite conductor.
There you go. So from all of us and Producer Tripp, I'm Tyler.
I'm Brett.
And I'm Chris, and together, we're the Craft Beer Connoisseurs.